Hi everyone, hope you well. This is CoinsKid. Just going to dive into Vechain. Once again, thank you for your support. We're over 50k subs now, and that's amazing. I really want to thank you, okay? Thanks for taking the time out to watch these videos, and obviously like and smash subscription and share and bring people into the channel. It's great. It's really good. Thank you once again, okay? It's grown into something more than I expected. So right now, jumping into Vechain, you can see we're sort of running into a bit of a brick wall. Anyone can see that. We're failing to get any higher than that. So in effect, you know, this is a triple top, a double top, whatever way you want to look at it. You've got the support line here, okay? So I'll always be truthful with you in this channel, okay? So you've got this sort of double M top with this pattern here, okay? And obviously you found support higher than that, so that's great. But what you've done now, if you can see, you've actually formed a triple top, so to speak, but you've also formed another double top within itself. Do you see that? Because you've gone up, made the high, then you've come down, you've made a second high, which is lower than that one. So effectively, it's a very similar pattern to the original double top M pattern like that. So you've got another support line there, okay? And I'll always show you everything. So basically, if you do start to roll here, I'm not saying you will roll because there's another pattern that's emerging as well, but if you do roll, then do anticipate that you could put in a little bit of a short there, okay? From that peak there down, you could see a 16% correction. If you lose this particular level just there, okay, if you do start to see Vechain losing that level of 21 cents, then you could go short, okay? You could open a little short down there, about 16%, which is roughly down to there, okay? So roughly down to that previous swing high. Do you see that? And this is what happens when things go up, okay? When they go up and they start to break down, they do usually rest on previous swing highs. Like now, you can see this is a swing high, okay? And it's gone down and it's rested on this previous swing high there as a base of support. Do you see that? So what it does, if it goes up and rolls over, it rests on a previous swing high. And then obviously if it loses that support, okay, it rolls, and look where our target is, the previous swing high, which is the neckline of the double M top pattern down to the base. Do you see that? So the swing highs and swing lows play a massive part, okay, in support and resistance going forward. And you'll always see it, like I say in so many videos, you don't even need support lines in, you don't even need EMAs. Well, you do need EMAs to be fair, but you can always see where the fallback is. It's always the previous swing high. Like here, when it went up, okay, and started to roll, you knew that the support was the previous swing high, and that's the previous swing high. Do you see that? Look where it bounced, okay? Look where it found support. Okay, you got the nasty wick down to the EMA, but look where it sort of congregated and bounced off a couple of times as previous support. Just there, okay? And that's how it works. Like, for example, here, went up. Where did it roll down to? Rolled down to the previous swing high. Do you see that? And rested just above that previous swing high, but round about there anyway. So that's where you want to see it hold support, because if you don't see it holding support at the previous swing high, what does it do? It rolls over to the next swing high. And that's why we have this target here as well, because that's the previous swing high in this overextended move here for Vechain. So always full transparency with you at all times. So basically, if you do see it lose 21 cents, okay, and starts to close below that, and especially these EMAs, okay, if it does close below this 20, then do anticipate that you could potentially be looking at a little short opportunity down there of 19 cents. So that's basically Vechain. It needs to hold support. At the moment, you've got another kind of pattern that's going on, okay? So what we'll do, we'll drop a little pattern in here. We've got like this triangle that we've got going on. I'm going to zoom out on the daily because if you look on the daily, it might look a bit clearer. So at the minute, you can see it's sort of coming up and down like that, okay? And I'll probably move this in a little bit like that. We're sort of hitting this resistance, okay, at the top and support there, and it's forcing us up. And like I said to you, these are bullish patterns because you come up into them, okay, and you're in resistance, falling back on support, resistance, falling back on support, and the longer you trade in there, the more you look for a breakout. And one indication of a breakout is the volume, okay? When you start to see volume tailing off like that, it's always indicative of a breakout. And just because you come up into it and we're on a bull market does not necessarily mean that you will actually break to the upside, okay? So always be aware of that, because if you do break out of it, okay, then you've got a target which is something like this, and you can see if you did break out of it, you would come down effectively, like you know, and lose support and fall back down to these previous swing highs. But if you did break out of it, okay, you would see a lovely little pump up there, which we've already spoken about, up towards that 32 cent mark for Vechain. So hopefully, you know, we can get some support here and a volume pick up, but the market is still very indecisive with Bitcoin. It doesn't kind of know what it's doing at the moment. So do keep an eye on that particular levels of support as Vechain does march on. At the minute, it looks bad. It looks like it's rolling, okay, and potentially entering a consolidation zone. If it was to fall out of this particular support right now and break down, then you would sort of be looking at that consolidation, just like what we got down here, where it sort of went up, it peaked, rolled over, had another go at the peak, couldn't quite do it, rolled back back down, lost key levels of support on the EMAs there, but got bought back up and then just sort of went sideways. Do you remember all that? Where it was just going sideways and boring. But on the grand scheme of things, it was creating a beautiful pattern, a ascending triangle pattern, wasn't it? Do you remember? And we had the target, and it was, look, because it was conforming to high lows, but it was hitting resistance at the top, and then because it's come up into it, it was sort of pushing up, and then it broke out, and we had our targets, and all targets have been met. So right now, you know, you could look at that as a very similar situation where it's come up, it's hit its head, it's come back down, it's found a level of resistance, but constantly making these high lows, it's hitting its head. So frustrating, I know, but it's something you just got to put up with. I'm afraid it's crypto, but you know, Vechain's extremely bullish. But what I want to do is look at the daily time frame. Okay, have a look at the daily time frame right now. So looking at the daily time frame, I suspected that it might be a bit of a bull pennant on the go here. It's not very pretty. Potentially it is, because yeah, just like this. Okay, so this could go on for quite a while. You've got this sort of level of resistance up here, like we've just spoken about on the 4-hourly, and it's falling back and it's hitting a level of support, and it gets tighter. Okay, and you've obviously come up into it, so it's some kind of bull pennant. Okay, horizontal triangle, which is a bullish continuation pattern. So that's basically Vechain. At the minute, it looks really good. It is painting some beautiful patterns, and obviously it's making these high lows, which is always good to see. Okay, you don't want to see it making lower lows, because that's a reversal pattern. So outlook still bullish. Okay, just anticipate that we could have a break relatively soon. Okay, as it sort of goes sideways and sort of makes its mind up what it wants to do. Hopefully it alters the support and this EMA as well. If you start to see it lose this EMA, the 20 EMA on the 4-hour, then do go short. Go short down to this particular level here. You know it's going to come down actually and bounce off this 55 EMA. So do go short down to that level there. So that's basically Vechain. I hope you enjoyed that video. A couple of trades, obviously. If it does break this key level of resistance, obviously go long, and you could look at a nice little long trade there of around 16% up to that sort of 32-cent mark. If it did go and lose this now as resistance, as support on this 20 EMA, if you've seen it start falling below this 20 EMA, do anticipate a little short where it would actually come down and bounce off to 55. Okay, because that's what it does when it loses it. It finds support, and you can see how well it's bouncing off this 55. And even if it did do that, it's still kind of adhering to these high lows. Okay, so that's a 12% short trade right there on Vechain. So just bring your charts up and have a look and draw these trend lines and see what you can see. If it does continue to roll over here, we will just enter a consolidation range. Okay, the RSI is looking nice, the daily MACD is not too bad, the 4-hourly MACD is not too bad. That histogram you can see is turning a little bit. Let's have a look at the daily and see what the daily RSI looks like, because that's one of the most important things in my opinion. Okay, so you're still a little bit high there, okay, in the overbought. You rolled over, as we've spoken about, rolled over, and you need to see that come back down. I would anticipate that would potentially come back down into the purple box before it actually takes a turn for the upside, just like it does here, okay, where it sort of comes up, you can see it comes up, comes back into the purple box before it turns to the upside. This consolidation range there, that got overbought completely, rolled over, and you can see how low that actually came, okay, and that actually came down to the 55 on the daily, which was a fantastic entry point. Okay, if Vechain does roll over and comes down to there, that could potentially be that deep wave 4 of the Elliott wave that we're anticipating. And again, I want to reassure you that would be perfectly healthy. It did do that, because that would just give confirmation to the Elliott wave theory, and then you would be looking at that wave 5 right up top there to the upside of that $1.50 that we're anticipating here for Vechain. So there's a couple of trades in there and a couple of patterns that it's printing. I hope I've given you a good enough update on Vechain. But so far, unless we can obviously break out of this level of resistance right now, you will start to see it sort of roll over and consolidate and test some of these lower levels of support there for Vechain. So do take care, everyone. Have a good day, and I'll be back tomorrow with another update on Vechain. Bye bye.